You are listening to the PNX Report.
PNX Report. PNX Report.
The PNX Report.
PNX Report.
PNX Report.
Live only on PNX TV.
PNX TV so eni yenchia yahwefo nyina ye share na watch we ase pe na Honorable Sam George ono ye MP Edemaningo Pram osanso edobol as the Minister for Communication, Digital Technology and Innovation. Wa trend pa social media, so particularly on Twitter na enyasem ketwa. And this has got to do with data prices krodiemu hanum say. Now amafo trema Sam George ebra ye beyi ne say Minister of Communications no ade a wode beto just say wobetimi aboa amasebe say the data prices akosho ma Ghana hanum say timemufo ewa ha ani mabunu esu say data prices eku omo no wobeti data prices ne so ema wote committee ni ade ne nyina ye hwe ni mu kwan, but it's been about 6 to 7 months ni ebusianfo Ghana fo trema wo mo enhye da ehunu Sam George ni show ente wo started say wo mo drag no social media no eso na de nam so kra ma che say Ghana for be drag no say Sam George Becker say he doesn't have the sole power to reduce data prices and am for say hene ha wo Sam George we ebra na eslo usu the former communications minister you made mention about the fact say you bet to me asesa data prices and assess lo usu were with her pen just on a sheet of paper no ebetimi ama data prices assessor and dey drew so a chese o can different story and we dey ache Ghana fonten ne bebu no e wo krom ache mu a wo mo enti ase, but me no ka say Sam George ababonten abekasa e dey afa ho a wo chem say ono akasa wotimi hu so wo trend pa wo Ghana hanum say, but was stating the facts about this whole data prices reduction. Ochem say it still has to go through a procedure. Enti mu amope omumpe ebe ya munyintum na omunye adwuma ne said there was omunye no by the end of the year after 2025 we no data prices no eso ebete yenjebre na abusuan yentie ensema Sam George and kasa wode eto monte so yeba yebeto ansem ne so ediamamo.
Let me digress a bit. The Director General spoke about the work the ministry is doing relative to bridging the digital gap and divide on the basis of connectivity cost. I've been trending over the weekend on Twitter, not necessarily for my looks or my work, but absolutely because whether orchestrated or otherwise, people think that data prices must be cheaper by the stroke of my pen. Let me be clear about this, and because the media is here, the Director General has spoken about the work that we're doing. I set up a committee in February, and people failed to listen to exactly what we set out to do with that committee. When I set up that committee, I did not say that in 14 days that committee was going to reduce data prices. That committee included telecom companies, the regulator, and sector players. The committee's mandate in 14 days was to develop a roadmap that would lead to the drop in data prices. A roadmap. A roadmap does not mean that in 14 days, data prices would have dropped. In 13 days, that committee, working without receiving a penny from the taxpayers' coffers, delivered a roadmap. On the basis of that roadmap, I made the Director General of the NCA and the regulator engage with stakeholders. There's a CEO of one of the telecom companies here on what we could do in the immediate, in the medium term, and the long term. Look, we're dealing with 8 years of distortion of the market. I wish I could fix it arbitrarily, but it takes a very calculated attempt not to create further distortions by acting irrationally. And so to the young people of our country and the people of this country, my promise was that by the end of this year, we would see prices of data drop. And I remain committed to it. We will deliver on that. But trust the process. I trust the technical competence of the regulator to work with the telecom companies to ensure the viability of the businesses, but also ensure that we get better value for for what we are paying. Apart from the work I've asked the NCA to do, I have engaged the ITU, whose celebration we are enjoying today, 160 years. I spoke with Dr. Cosmo Zavazava, who is the head of BDT at the ITU, and have tasked the ITU to do an independent study of tariffs in Ghana and present a report to us in 8 weeks so that we can align that study's report with what the NCA's report is and then take an informed policy decision. Estelle spoke about the fact that I've been a very consultative kind of minister. I will not act arbitrarily. I will not give directives that will affect the industry. What I will do is to consult with industry, consult with stakeholders, and take decisions that protect investment in Ghana, but also ensure that Ghanaian customers and Ghanaian citizens have the best quality of service and get the best pricing for the services that they pay for. We will keep our word. You have my promise.
Ebusia Honorable Sam George Equity and Sema Wode Atuja Efa data prices I wo krom hanum say. Now utie and Sema wo kan ye bone tofa e de amamu amante ase wo brofo ni mu ni dia. Eni asema Honorable Sam George epeso wo che nyina ne say committee ne de wate te se de ye ka no na emom committee no wante se wo adwuma ne se omunko ye adwuma 14 days na wo mo emra no na ya tete data prices so there be committee na adwuma ne se wo munko pe road map emra road map no e na beboa wo mo amotimi aso nema ba ko mienu ano e wo industry ni mo metre the telecommunication industry ni mo na pe ko pe de 14 days yentimi emfa nsiesie de ye de 8 years asay no na che se kwa kosi ye maame esla owusu ekufo eso se 8 years a ye de ne see so na ye de dibre se minister of communications e de share ne nsa no ni gire sie binum a wosisi ye ene niema bi a wo ye no ade a enya nsunsanso bone pa ewo the telecommunication sector no eso enti according to Honorable Sam George there said the momo hwehwe no so wo de ne pensi krata so anu asase MTN multi data no so say the motor 5 cedi motor 2 cedi 50 pesos the motor no 10 cedi ne manemra 8 cedi no enya de be yesa because ono amfa ahopepre enkonko hye mra bi a daachi de bia no ebema de o masɛ ne dada no kra no na kyesa asɛm no agensɛm nti Ghana fo nyina titire ani mmabunu amani abre sanse ehwemu a mmabunu okrom hanom sɛ ye ne yeto data pa me kyerɛ the youth ene data ne de bibia bi because say ye di agro social media no so yie pa enti no otemo ya odie na se o temo consensus no so ase but monti ase say ade bi aye no it goes through a particular process yen sori prekope ensori se ye biribi enti se de o ma sha ase no wo mo egusu a wo mo ye den wo mo de se na efata a ebeboa Ghana na asan aboa mmabunu se ba data ho nsensem dia enti mo de mo ntame kuchu ohu na mo ma no up to 2025 afine wie ye bedru ho no mo no na chese insakraye aba wo data prices ni emu na se de na no na ebinimo chese Sam George wasesa na adwen enam interview bi okoye ne nsem bi okokeka yenti no wasesa na adwen na chese sa owo position no ena na wo ye dede hunam na nkofo kwa ye de ne besi wo no ni entimi Sam George say ni rain free da he has never forgotten that he has to do something it was what timi ye bibi ema data prices no eba from and that is what all Ghana for nyina abo say enso mo awiemo afin beko ne wie ye de na watimi ayesa ejuma ne pepepe tse de ye peno no ensem wo beto oja no there have been a lot of reactions from the youth and some Ghanaians are who say well say sanetie dia na adenti particularly from the MPPs they are trying to defend mama eslo usu say sana nsem netie dia adenti na all this while no wa ma Ghana fo enyom ho nti ase say data prices no eba ho nsensem a process any different na oma ne be yes say eslo usu de she's not doing anything on bone home ordinary or more brabia de onima ne say what all to data prices mu na so ebi so etwem say asema Sam George kano se de kan na sem no kre eda ho a ye monche na se chinie ni da ho a ye monche no kre na ena Sam George de ato emonten so nti yenyina ye time ni yenya abotre afene kwa wieye na ye hu ni show a ye betimi aye bribi de afa ho abusiam ye fa mo ensi hanom se ye ni bekoso a edisa nsem we ye chi emrepam no ye de emu update ebeba besomu.
You are listening to the PNX Report.
PNX Report. PNX Report.
The PNX Report.
PNX Report.
PNX Report.
Live only on PNX TV.